what are some of the best strategies that you could give that a freelancer can use to sign more clients? Try to get as practical as possible. If you were a freelancer starting off, what would you do to grow your books?
I will give you a very practical solution, and I stole this from a chap called Mike Jones, a fellow Brit. He came and he's a LinkedIn guru, and he did a presentation inside Agency Forge. And he said something that resonated with me. I've been on LinkedIn for 14 years, 15 years, probably longer. I don't know. He said, treat your profile like a landing page. And light bulb moment. So I haven't even done it for my own yet, but I will get there. So what does that mean? Right, literally, your profile at the minute talks to everyone and everything, probably, which means you're talking to no one. So you do have to pick a niche or a specific thing, pain point or whatever in your industry that you can call out. And literally, your profile image is, I'm sure you've seen them, pointing to tell people to take a specific action. So you want one action on your profile page, and that'll be calling out a pain point. For you and I, it might, because we both have training products, it might be something around, you can't keep up with the Google Ads changes. Well, check this out. I've got X, Y, Z for you. And then in your featured part, which is straight under your profile and the banner, again, the same thing, same call to action, same pain point. And in your first job posting, or the most recent, should we say, again, calling it out, same call to action. So it's like, yeah, you might be the director of this, or you might be a freelancer in this, but I do this specifically to fix this pain point, follow the link. So everything's telling people to take action. And if you pay for LinkedIn Premium, you can also get a button that says visit my website or whatever. And then guess what? That will go to the same place. So you've got this very specific call to action. Everything's pointing there. Your about bit can be more, let's call it fluffy. It could be more about you, background. So if anyone actually expands that, again, call to action at the top though. So your pain point, you're calling out your audience, you're adding the pain point. So, I mean, if you get really specific, it might be plumbers in the UK. Are you struggling to get X number of leads a week? Based on your experience, you know how many leads they should be getting because you work with plumbers. So I'm just using plumbers as an example, or I always do. Then you can say, here's a 2-step process that I use to increase leads by 27% based on 15 accounts that I work with. A simple white paper or something like that. It could be a video tutorial. It could be a downloadable checklist. It could be anything. Just something simple that you could put together that shows a before and after state. Could even be a case study reworked as a tutorial. It's like before, after. It shows off your knowledge to a very specific audience, and your whole profile, it calls out that audience. So everyone that isn't in that audience, they bugger off, which is what you want, because you don't want 100 different people turning up. I've got a SaaS company. I've got a B2B business. I've got an e-commerce. It's like, no. Hone it. And then you send them to this very specific thing. And that works a charm because it's just so narrow focused. That's what I do. And that's for agency owners and freelancers, literally.
That's great. I remember when I mentioned I got into Google Ads. We had our own boutique villa resort in Bali. So my first clients were other villa resorts because we were getting a direct booking rate of 50% through Google Ads. Industry average was 15%. That was our marketing message, is that if you were outside of that industry, that 50%, you don't know whether it's good or bad. But for the people that we were reaching out to, they knew the industry average was 15%. I had strategies that kick it up to 50%. And then we would tell the story around what that extra 35% meant, because it meant you weren't paying Booking.com and Expedia 15% commission. So it was very, very valuable to the business. But the other thing I'd mention with that is that was like the lead off for getting new clients. And then when you start getting there, then you start getting the referrals. And that's how then I branched out into e-commerce and other ways. So it sounds like you're saying the same thing. Start really niche, and then you just don't know, things might open up on the back of your success.